As a gaming community, I think it's safe to say that we mostly all agree on the list of the best games ever made. Maybe not the exact order, but the general consensus is there. Today we'll be going through some of the top games ever created, in no particular order, and reading some terrible reviews from people who found them to be awful. We're probably gonna laugh at them, but I do want to see if they had some valid points. GTA San Andreas is the first game we'll be looking at. Now, we know San Andreas is one of the greatest games ever to be created. But what do these 148 negative people have to say about the game?
Something stupid, I'm sure.
Like all other GTA games, I expect this one will be buried under all the hype surrounding it too. Let's face the facts, people, GTA sucked. Only the gameplay was okay. It's like nobody saw the graphics of all the games. I had an eyesore just looking at the horrible Vice City. Is this guy from the future? Did he see the remaster? Same old overrated recycled garbage as the past two games. The first one was fun, but more of the same again? Okay, I don't know. This guy made his review on the day of the game releasing, right? So the dude didn't even realize how different the two games actually were. San Andreas is miles ahead in things you can do between this and Vice City. Man, what happened? GTA 3 was so much fun. Vice City expanded on that with some new features, but now this series is really starting to run into the ground. I guess I'm just finally getting sick of these types of games. Call it Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Syndrome. How dare you? What started as a fun game ruined by too many releases of the same old stuff. I don't want to be playing the same game over and over again for the next 10 years. It's time to move on. Well, I hope somebody told him. But for real, how are all these people saying that San Andreas is the same as Vice City? San Andreas expanded on so much you can do. The map is so much bigger. The customization was insane. The main character is better. There's so many more activities that there are. There's gang wars in this game. And I like how they're all zeros. Like there wasn't one good thing about the game. I was very disappointed in this game because I thought it was going to be better, but it really wasn't. It got boring after 10 minutes. It's the same as Vice City. I have an Xbox and a PS2. And I suggest you get Halo 2. That is the real game to get. Now, Halo 2 is a fantastic game. And that's actually the next game we're going to look at. But to say that this game sucked in the first 10 minutes, what are you talking about? This game is overrated like mad and deserves to burn in hell. The graphics are like PlayStation 1's Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Seriously, it's a complete rehash just because it's a GTA game. Reviewers gave the score really high when it's absolute junk. Pathetic graphics. The main problem with this game isn't the dated graphics, the repetitive drive and shoot gameplay, or the cliched story. It's that ignorant mothers are buying it for their 10-year-old kids. One of the worst games I've ever played. Mission sucks, CJ sucks, graphics sucks. A lot of the zeros come from the fact that the people hated the graphics, and that it was the same as GTA 3 and Vice City. Now, we know looking from the future that none of that is true. San Andreas expanded upon both those games significantly more. Way better map, it was huge actually. Way more things to do within the game to make it feel like a living, breathing world. The game is above and beyond both those games combined. And it's sad these people didn't see that. These reviews are way worse than I thought they were going to be. At least I didn't think people were going to be complaining about the graphics that much. But how could some people think the graphics were so bad? And this is actually how I got the idea for this video. I was talking to a friend of mine who said Halo 2 wasn't even that good. Of course, I had to defend them on the spot. But it made me curious and wanted to see if other people thought the same thing, as I love Halo 2, and I thought it as a top 5 game ever made. And to my surprise, actually, just kidding, there is actually people who agree with them. Poor level design, uninteresting story, uninteresting enemies, dated gameplay, unbalanced weapons, sluggish controls, only 30 frames per second. My guy's complaining about 30 frames per second in 2004. Some poor multiplayer maps, those were all the problems of the first, and so far it doesn't look like much has changed. While Halo 2 has some new features, it still features dated gameplay and uninteresting enemies, story, and levels. Too bad this game was ugly rubbish, nowhere near at Killzone. Yeah, well where's Killzone now, my guy? Exactly, it doesn't exist. There is too much flashing to see what you are doing, sets are too dark due to the new environmental shaders. Story is awesome though, hey! But once again, it takes a lot to get used to the interface. They should have left it well alone. Okay, so the guy's biggest complaint is that the guns are too big, and the UI kind of sucks, and the sets are dark, and he gives it a 3. But he said the story is awesome. See, these reviews, this should be like a 7. He loved most of the game, but just because of like 3 bad things, he gave it a 3. This is how you know regular gamer consumers don't know how to review anything. Good game for the Xbox, really bad game for anything else. I mean, come on, let's face it, Halo honestly isn't that good. Rip. Especially if you compare it to the likes of Half-Life and Unreal Tournament. It's the same tired, repeating scenes, limited number of weapons and enemies, and only semi-decent multiplayer capacity. How dare you? Microsoft has a reputation for bad games, and this just continues it. A large number of reviews I'd say that Halo 2 doesn't live up to the hype it's been given, but they still give it a top score. Bottom line. There's way too many games out there. Halo 2 is mediocre at best, but it will sell a gazillion copies. That's right. Because most people who buy an Xbox in the first place are too dumb to care. That actually hurts me a lot. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Halo, but this just reads a ton of bias to me. Single player is disappointing, both in story and originality. How is it not original? It's about a Halo ring with aliens and a giant Master Chief guy protecting the world, with an arbiter going against religious zealots trying to turn things around. When there are two characters in the story going against each other, what's the point? Dual wielding? How many other people are supposed to be going against each other? Overall, Halo 2 is nothing new, just a mix of things that have been done before. Attack on Earth done, aliens done, vehicles done. Oh my god, it had vehicles and guns in it? He should have used a sword. How dare they put guns and aliens and Earth in it? God, dude, freaking Microsoft and Bungie. What the frick is wrong with you? Let's move on to the next game, another game from my childhood. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. 148 people hated this game. There's actually not that many reviews. How sad. Will a game with a story please stand up? Please stand up. You don't play Tony Hawk Pro Skater for a story, dude. Come on. This game is just bad. It's so buggy, so poorly executed, and it makes me vomit. If you're ever going to buy this game, dude, if you're either a fan of the previous game or just a big Tony Hawk fan, if you're not, don't buy the game. And if you do, you'll see what I'm talking about. There is actually quite a bugs, but who cares? Say what? Number 2 greatest game of all time. I remember having fond memories of it, but taking those nostalgia goggles leaves us with a glitchy and buggy mess. Nothing about it memorable. I guess nostalgia wins people over again. I didn't find much enjoyment in it. It gets dull after playing it once. Replay value is huge in video games. Doing tricks wasn't all that enjoyable. It's pretty overrated in my opinion. How can it have no replay value? It's literally a skate park game where you can literally do infinite number of things. Like, you can do so many tricks and different grinds and just, I don't understand. Tony Hawk games are very overrated. The games do not stand the test of time and do not belong in the top games of all time list. Well, then you weren't very good at it, my guy, and being in 2018, you didn't understand what we had back then. Tony Hawk was a living legend, and playing his game 1 and 2 literally felt amazing. I can't even describe the feeling of playing that game, just doing all these crazy tricks in these insane maps. It's literally one of the funnest times I've ever had playing a game. Even putting the cheat codes in and screwing around with endless grinds and kickflips and trying to do these crazy freaking 1080 spins and all that. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. And the soundtrack, you could just come home after school and just load up Tony Hawk and just skate and mess around. Just forget what you were doing. It was a way better time. And then reading this right here, but it's from 2020, so I don't expect them to actually understand. Now, kind of stepping up to date with Elden Ring doing pretty well, let's go check out its predecessor, Dark Souls. 155 people probably are not good enough for Dark Souls. Bet every review hates how hard the game is. You ready? You ready? The best way to sum this game up: extremely difficult to the point of complete insanity. Make one mistake and you have to repeat an hour's worth of play to get back to the same area. No storyline whatsoever, no explanation on what different symbols, stats, etc. mean on your character. The game was definitely banking on previous reputation. Controls are very buggy with multiple button combos almost pointless because you could never get them to work. Am I reading a review of Elden Ring? I'm pretty sure this is the exact stuff people are complaining about. This is a game where you die a lot, and each time you die, you'll redo a lot of stuff you just spent 30 minutes doing. And once you're redoing it for the second time, you'll probably die again, meaning you'll have to do it again and again. None of this would be a problem if I felt I was being rewarded for my time spent playing. But you just don't. And this ties into my biggest problem at all. I keep reading about the hardest game ever made. Maybe so, but isn't gaming meant to be fun? An age-old war about FromSoft games. Should they be fun or difficult? Is difficult hard? Is difficult not hard? Should the games be made for everybody? And this war has been going on since Elden Ring came out, and you still hear people complaining about it. All Dark Souls offer is frustration. The 4 or 5 hours I spent playing were some of the most miserable I can remember. Well, get good. A huge amount of effort has gone into this game. It looks absolutely stunning, yep, and generates an incredible atmosphere, yep, but that's not enough for me. Literally sounds like people from today. My advice, rent before you buy. Renting, that's crazy. I've already traded my copy in. I had fun setting up my character and starting through the tutorial, and that's it. After I escaped the first dungeon, I met a knight and decided to fight him and take his soul. He kills me in 3 hits. Fine, try again. Respawn, reload the game, he kills me again. The fighting is so lame. He hits me, and my character has to go through this delayed reaction animation. That's because you're clicking the button at the wrong time, my guy. That's still a complaint that people have in Elden Ring, is that the reaction of the controls are not good. You're just not pushing the button at the right time. I think Dark Souls is a perfect example of a psychological marketing. Developers and the media made us believe that suffering exhaustively with some sort of do it again until you get good at business is something nice, something we want. The ideal gaming experience. It's not. Dark Souls is, no question about it, a beautiful game, challenging and well crafted. Okay. That being said, the difficulty level is just way too high, to a point that there's no fun at all. So a lot of the complaints are that the game is just too hard, and people don't have the time to get good, and don't think that the game should be that hard, because gaming should be fun. But aren't people who are playing this game, maybe they enjoy getting killed and actually taking the skill to get better and beating it, and maybe they think that's fun. No one said that the game was for everybody. So if you play it and don't like it, guess what? That's cool. Someone else probably does, and that doesn't mean that you have to freaking think that the game shouldn't be created in the first place, and it shouldn't get a 0 just because you thought it was too hard. There's other things to rate the game on, like the graphics and the sound design, and the level design, and the character development, and the story. So far, these negative reviews for the games are honestly quite what I expected, especially the Dark Souls ones. I was surprised by some of the San Andreas reviews though, calling it the same as the previous games and how bad the graphics were. I thought that was just something that people complained about now. And speaking of terrible graphics, let's check out Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I sucked at Super Smash and I still suck at Super Smash Bros. But I do have a kid now, so I'm not fully terrible at smashing. With all these 38 negative reviews, let's see how many people actually are terrible at the game. This game is so stupid. What are those guys talking about? This game is the worst. It's all choppy and the guys look straight from the NES. Do not buy this game. Don't even rent it. It's utterly crap. Not smooth in gameplay. Graphics could have been a lot better animation-wise. Very jerky. 2-player crap. Don't get me wrong. I own a GameCube, but I'm a fan, but not of this game. What does that even mean? You own a GameCube and you're a fan. So you're just a fan of the GameCube, but you hate the game. I mean, that's literally possible to do, John. Quite possibly the most overrated game ever. Is it that GameCube owners are so desperate for games that they inflate grades for ones that they do have? There's 0 depth and the game gets very old very fast. Well, Mark Q, hate to leave it to you, but Super Smash Melee is still played today and generally regarded as the best Smash Brothers ever made. So, looks like you're wrong. And the game relies on this battle system. The gaming world is a horrible place for this game to be rated at even a B level. Oh, Mike G is not good at the game at all. Graphics from Brawl are better. My friend is wrong when he says this game is great. When Nintendo sends their Super Smash games, they're not sending their finest. Some, I assume, are good ones. At least Brawl had a story. 0 out of 10, at least Rambo had a story. People don't play Super Smash for the story, dude. They play it to beat their friends up like you and win tournaments. Yeah, these reviews for Melee are probably the worst of the bunch. I love that the internet allows people to share their opinions, but the people writing these reviews on Metacritic, for the most part, literally can't think critically. If you want to see more terrible takes, check out this video here.